This man's legacy gives us a glimpse of the people and places that make Tioga County home. The world has changed exponentially the past few decades, and Tioga County is no exception. However, one thing that has stood the test of time is our community's love for this region. There are few who have lived this sentiment to the fullest, quite like the man we're talking about today. This man was greatly loved by his community and spent his life documenting what makes Tioga County our home. Blossburg Mayor Shane Nickerson has more.
Welcome everyone. I'm here at the Blossburg Borough office today with Borough Secretary Cheryl Bubach and Paul and Dusty, who are very important people in Blossburg. They are the heirs to Keith Lindie. Keith Lindie was a wonderful community member. He was our historian. He was our filmer. He documented everything that happened at Blossburg over his life. And you're here today, Dusty, to present us with some special items. Can you tell me a little bit about what you've brought here today?
Well, it's been a couple of years now since Uncle has passed, and it's taken us that long because the enormity of the volumes of information and artifacts that he had. So we're down to the very final pieces. So the United Mine Workers had different conventions throughout their formative years and when they were getting together and starting their strong labor union. And these were some of the medals that people received, and we've got some more back here. And Blossburg was always prominently presented at those conventions, as was Fallbrook and the whole bituminous coal area.
Dusty, when a family loses a loved one, a lot of time there's this much stuff, right? There's just this enormous amount of stuff. It's hard to decide what's best to do with the stuff, and for Keith it's a little bit more daunting because you're his only living relative, directly, right? Your uncle, he had no children, but he was part of the Blossburg family, which is all of us.
Yes.
So I want to talk to you. What made you all decide that the best thing to do was to archive the actual footage? Because I know from literally picking up the boxes of videotapes and picking up the boxes of 35 millimeter film and physically loading them into my van, how much that was. What made you decide to document all this instead of saying, Mr. Mayor, here's these boxes, they're yours?
I think Sheila at Mansfield was instrumental in all of that. Paul was working at Mansfield at that time, and Paul's from Mansfield, so we have deep roots between the two of us here in this Tioga County region. Bob Matarko volunteered to house all of the original artifacts, and we really appreciate that he's done that. We didn't want it sitting in a closet someplace, so that's the basic reason we're doing this, and we would very much like it to be used to educate people about the coal and about the history of the area, and especially if the children could get and see and touch some of this stuff, that would be even better.
Yeah. And I'll make sure that during Coal Festival, that like the medals and all this will be on display at the Coal Festival Museum during Coal Festival, so everyone can come out and take a look at it. Keith meant so much to so many of us. He was really supportive of all the things that the younger people were trying to do for Blossburg. He always had our back, from just giving us words of encouragement to volunteering to haul kids around in the hay wagon during when we started the Fall Festival. He was always there every step of the way. And thank you so much for honoring him in the way that you did. You've done.
Well, he was that kind of an uncle.
He was that kind of a friend also.
When we come back, Anyone and everyone is free to find and watch the many hours of Tioga County history Keith Lindie has documented. We'll find out where to find it after the break.
What is a good deal to you?
A good deal to me is a vehicle that just works for our family. We're an on-the-go family, and Matthews worked with us to find a car that fits our lifestyle. From sports practices to vacations, we need a nice, dependable car that will get us where we want to. We wanted the peace of mind of an almost brand new car at a price that we still have enough cash left over to do all the things we love. A good deal to me is a vehicle that doesn't make me choose between having a nice car and having a nice life.
I want to make sure that people can see the footage. There's footage that I've looked at, that I've talked to people about from before I was born, 35 millimeter stuff. And people said, you know what, that was my father. I haven't seen my father other than in a still picture, you know.
Yes,
I haven't,
yes.
there's
videos
no
are amazing.
video
Yeah.
that I've ever seen of my father. And that is incredible to see what somebody in a still photo is one thing, to see them talking and laughing and see the emotion on their face is totally different. This is amazing stuff.
It is.
So how you get to that is archive.org, and in the search bar you can just put in Blossburg and you'll start seeing it come up, and there is a mound of footage from the swimming pool to parades and
Christmas
festivals,
decorations,
Christmas
just all kinds of
decorations,
things.
everything. So it's wonderful. I can't thank you enough for all that you've done.
We owe a lot to Blossburg, and it's just partial payment.
Thank you.
Gathering and archiving all of Keith Lindie's incredible documents and videos was a huge undertaking, requiring hours of work and talented people. We'll learn more about that in part 2 of the legacy of Keith Lindie in the near future. Thanks for joining us today on the Homepage Network.
Home is where your heart is. If you're dreaming of finding the perfect home, First Citizens Community Bank has the people and products to make it happen. We offer a range of down payment options, as well as options for different income levels. So whatever your situation, don't count yourself out. Our expert lenders make mortgages simple. We'll put our experience to work to find the right mortgage for your budget and lifestyle. You need solutions. That's what we deliver. First Citizens Community Bank. Your mortgage, your way.